Okay. Hello.
What's up?
Today I have Andrew Gyger on. Andrew has been one of my longest friends. I'd consider him one of my best friends. I feel like we got a lot of interesting things to talk about. So I think it'll be an interesting podcast. So thanks for being on, Andrew.
It's a pleasure to be here.
I really appreciate it. So I thought I'd start out pretty simple first, right, to get the ball rolling. So me and Henry were talking about this, and me and Henry both really like AGR, the band. I'm assuming you know them. And every time we talk about them or seem to express our interest, you seem to be very against that. So I just wanted to know, what do you have against AGR?
Well, they made the song Bang.
Yeah, it's a banger, bro.
I don't know. I can't.
Just not a fan.
I can't agree. And they also made the I'm Ready song from SpongeBob. And
they made that?
Yeah.
Like originally?
No,
or
like for the movie, I think.
Oh shit!
When they made the movie.
Oh wow! Okay.
And in my opinion, that kind of made the movie worse. So, and that was like when I was young, so it's kind of been planted in my brain.
Interesting. So then, what type of music do you like?
Man, what type of music do I like? Let me look at my Spotify.
Let me take a guess. I'm assuming a little bit or a decent amount's rap.
Okay.
Hip hop, maybe.
Same shit.
Hip hop. Okay. I feel like you might like some rock, maybe, or some type of. No. Okay.
So, here's the thing with music. Like, I'm into all types of music, but I only have so many, like, songs saved. Because a lot of songs, like rock songs that like are popular and everyone knows, I just like don't know the name. You know, I might like it, but it's just not on my playlist.
Oh, I got you.
But like on my Spotify, like pretty much everything's rap. I have some
rap,
pop.
Okay, so then I wanted to know, because when I listen to music, I like the lyrics are cool sometimes. Usually I listen to it for like the melody, right? Which is why I'm not a super, like, I think rap's cool, but I'm not a huge fan of it. So I was wondering, when you listen to music, are you like really just into the lyrics then, or is it more like the rhythm, the beat?
You know, it depends on the song. Because some songs I listen to for the words, some songs I listen to just for the beat, but it's really just the feeling.
Feeling.
Yeah, like
okay.
Like I don't know. I spent so much of my youth at the skate park, and at the skate park, all you hear is rap. Really? So it was kind of the soundtrack to my life growing up, and just got so accustomed to it that like I learned what I like and what I don't like about it. So.
Interesting. Any favorite rappers?
Kanye West.
Classic.
Let me make sure that is on there.
Of course.
I like Future. I like Travis Scott, and
big names.
Kid Cudi.
Kid Cudi. Oh, yeah. Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah.
Hey, I love that song.
Yeah, I have a few others I like, but those are my main.
Do you listen to music when you work out?
Yes, always.
Does it help?
Yeah. Especially like yesterday, me and Caleb were doing shoulder press with dumbbells, and the most I usually do is like 30. We were doing 50. And,
oh wow!
It really.
That's a big jump.
Yeah.
Damn. So I've noticed you've been working out a lot more.
Yeah.
Decent. How long would you say you've been consistently working out?
Well, like December is when I was like, okay, I got to start going, and but I haven't started to see real results till the last few months because I wasn't taking it too serious or really knew how. Gotcha. But the last few months, I've like really gotten into it.
No, bro, I could tell when we go to the lakes, bro. Like. Yeah, okay, he really is good.
Thank you.
So December, you said you were like, okay, I got to start going, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people feel that, but a lot of people don't end up going. So what do you think, like, made you go?
You can't go if you don't want it for yourself. You know, you got to want it. And, you know, it's really just a disciplinary thing. You know, do what you hate like you love it. That's how I look at it. Like that. And, yeah, as long as you go every day, as long as I get myself there, I usually have a pretty good workout. Just the hardest part is getting there. But,
okay, because I wanted to ask you more just about discipline in general, because I feel like out of all of my friends, I think of you as very disciplined.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And kind of just more broadly, how do you define discipline? And then what are tactics you use in your life to make yourself more disciplined?
Well, I define it with what I just said, doing something you hate like you love it, which is a quote from a boxing trainer named Cus D'Amato. Yeah, he said that, and I was like, you know what, that's a great way to put it, because I always like knew what discipline was, because I've always been a hard worker, but I didn't know how to define it, I guess. But and then what was the second part of that question?
Just like tips on how do you stay disciplined? Because it's hard for a lot of people.
I guess for lack of better terms, you just can't be a fucking bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I like it. You gotta like just push through it type thing.
Yeah, I mean, people love to bitch and moan and complain. They do.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
you're not wrong.
And
you're not wrong.
I always would hear people complain about stuff in their life, and I just cannot relate to that in any shape or form. So
yeah, interesting. I actually wanted to ask you about that because, like, you seem very mentally healthy, right?
Yeah.
Like, you seem very okay with life, that stuff. And obviously, a lot of people, you know, they have like, it's harder for them to feel that way. And I was just, have you always been this way? Do you ever feel like pretty mentally down? How do you get through it?
You know, a lot of it has to do, in my opinion, with confidence. And I feel like I've always been I was always a happy kid, you know. I was never like sad, never doing stupid shit. But working out has given me a lot more confidence, and it kind of brings my mood up no matter what. Yeah. But just, you know, I could be sad and I could complain about a lot of stuff, but I just choose not to, you know. I think my mindset, my mental capacity is really strong, and I can kind of choose what I want to think, you know? Dude,
I totally agree. I actually, like, ever since I started meditating, I've realized how much...
Man, I want to get into meditating.
Dude, you totally should. It really helps, because what it helped with me is that kind of what you're saying, where you could choose to be happy. Like, I know it's not always that simple, because like a lot of people, it's just harder for their brain to be happier and stuff like that. But I do see myself, especially when it comes to anger, like I'll be getting irritated or angry at like very... like seemingly stupid things, like things I feel like I shouldn't be angry at. And before I started meditating, if I was angry, I was just like, oh, now I'm angry. Like, this is just how I feel. And like, I would kind of be like, since I'm angry, I should be mad about something, right? Because it's like, why would I be angry? But now that I started meditating, I get to more see my thoughts as they pop up and like kind of analyze them from a third person perspective. Yeah, it's really cool. And I'll be like, okay, the thing I'm angry at, does it really seem worth it to be angry, or is it like something silly? Yeah. And then after I make that calculus, I'm like, okay, do I want to continue being angry? Do I want to try to enjoy this experience
Sometimes
as much as I can?
It's really just a waste of energy.
Exactly.
You don't even know it.
And it's like, it's just so harmful too, because like sometimes it's with friends or something, right? So it's like, not only am I going to be upset, but I'm going to be like causing people around me to be annoyed as well.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I really want to get into meditating. And... you know, I'm not going to act like my life is all, like, perfect and stuff, because I do go through it a healthy amount, you know, like everyone does, but it's just about how you come back, in my opinion, and it's about how you let it affect you, because, like I said, I could choose to be sad all the time, but eventually, you know, life goes on, and I just kind of live my life with it is what it is mentality.
Interesting.
Just whatever happens, you know, it's all right. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a good way to go. It's like, I kind of view that as like a sort of living in the present type of thing, because it's like you could stress out about the future or stress out about like what you would have wanted to happen rather than what is happening. And like, there's obviously value in thinking towards the future, but I think if you're always stressed out about it, then you're just...
I'm always in the moment.
Yeah. Like, the moment's the best place to be, bro.
You know, of course I think about the future and, like, plan stuff, but, you know, I only stress about what's going on in the moment. And that's another thing, too, especially with students, I feel. Especially going into senior year like I am. Yeah. They're just so worried about what's next. And, you know, they have reasons to worry about that. Yeah. Because they've probably lived their whole life with crazy high expectations, you know? And, dude, honestly, ever since I can remember, I've just been like, it is what it is.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I've never... You know, I obviously have standards for myself, but I see some other students and, like, the stress they put themselves through, and I'm just like, you are not happy. Like, that is not what you really want for yourself, you know?
Interesting.
A lot of it is from parents.
I'm curious, do you think that's something you, like, when you were younger, you actively tried to, like, make your mindset, or do you think you just grew up with that mindset? And, like, if so, do you think it was your upbringing?
Yeah, I mean, it was probably my upbringing for most of it. because
you're right. There's a lot of parents that like put very high
Yeah.
expectations on their kids right away.
yeah,
so
my,
they're
my
always
parents
like
were never
reaching
like
towards
that. My parents were always chill. They kind of realized growing up I was in an odd situation, and I guess I don't know if this makes any sense, but I feel like my friends raised me in a way.
No, like I kind of
So
get that.
I just adapted a lot of traits from them, and you know, there's a lot less stress when you're hanging out with your friends compared to your parents.
Well, that's actually a perfect segue because another thing I wanted to talk to you about was like friendship in general.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that too.
Okay. Well, so there's two routes I can go down. I'll go down this one first. So
Okay.
I think we're pretty good friends, obviously. We've been friends for a long time.
I'd agree.
So I was curious, in your opinion, what do you think makes a good friendship and how do you think you can maintain a friendship long term?
Okay. What makes a good friendship is consistency, you know? Always chatting it up, always talking, always seeing each other. Because, you know, you have those friends that are more acquaintances than anything, but like a real best friend, you know, you're always in contact. So I'd say consistency, and you have to have enough in common to be pulled together, but you also have to have some different stuff you're into, just because
to keep things interesting.
keep things interesting.
Because if you're in the same, everything's the same, then it's always the same conversation.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. So I'd say that, and then also my closest friends I've known for like 10 plus years. You know, so I would say like history, but I feel like I'm in a very lucky position where we grew up in this neighborhood and like with all the same people, and I've stayed in contact with all of them.
Yeah.
But you know, this sounds a little selfish, but it's like what I think of is like, what does a friend do for me? What does someone do for me? Because you know, everyone wants to act like, oh, my friends, they don't gotta do anything for me. But like, I don't know. The older I get, the more I'm setting standards for myself. You know, if you're not with me, you're against me, and if you're not helping me out, I'm cutting you off. You know, if you're just like a waste of my time, I do not care. Like,
yeah, that actually brings me to the second thing I wanted to talk about because I know we don't have to say any names or anything, but I know recently you've had to like, you know, kind of switch on or move on from friend groups because of reasons like that. And I was wondering, I guess, multiple questions. First off, like, how did you make that decision? And like, do you have any tips for people that maybe hanging out with friends that aren't like providing value for them in life, and maybe they want to try to find friends where they could grow more with?
Yeah, well, so first of all, I'm in a very lucky position where I had great people to fall back on, you know, after I had to drop the other friend group. I didn't have to be lonely for a little bit. I just got right back into it with Scott, you, Ando, Brennan,
Let's go.
Henry, you know, all that shit. So I never had a phase where I had to like find new friends.
Like where you were alone. Right?
Yeah.
That's
like,
good.
I guess when I decided to drop my other friend group, it was sometime in March or April. I had already been hanging out with Scott more than them, so I had already kind of made the switch. But I was talking to Aiden, and Aiden is still friends with all of them. So I was like, Aiden, what did they say about me? Like, what did they think of me? And they said, or Aiden said that they don't like that I try to act older than I am, and they think like I'm trying to be too adult-like. And when he told me that, I thought about it for a while, and I kind of realized like, you guys are fucking stupid, you know, dumb as hell. Like, I'm not trying to act older. I'm trying to act my age. I'm a young adult. I gotta handle myself as such, and I can't live like I'm 14 anymore.
Did you feel like maybe like you were growing faster than they were, maybe just going into a different stage of your life before them, and they were pulling you back in some sense?
Yeah, I think Snoop Dogg, he worded it in a good way where like, you know, you're trying to be up here, but your friends are down here, and you got to close the gap. You know, you just got to, and I closed the gap, and you know, I wish things kind of went a better way as how things ended, but I don't feel bad for anything.
So you said you were planning on dropping him at the end of the year, right?
Yeah.
So I'm curious because me, at least, with all the friends that like I've stopped hanging out with, it was never like a cutoff thing where I like planned on stop hanging out with them. It was more just life got in the way, and like I hung out with other people more because we were just around each other more. So like, what was it like, I guess, knowing that you were going to stop hanging out with someone?
Well,
like, is it weird? Like, do you
yeah.
feel kind of
So,
awkward about it?
Probably I would have felt awkward about it if I wasn't so prepared. Because, like I said, March, February is when Aiden told me that they think I'm too grown, which they are both. Most of the people in this friend group are older than me, you know, and
I don't get it. Like,
one of them just turned 18.
What was their criticism?
No job.
Like, why was being too old bad?
Because they were too young. They were too, I guess, amateur in life. You know,
Interesting.
Some people, you either catch on or you don't, and they just weren't catching.
I don't know if this might have not been in their situation, but I know like some people, like seeing someone like grow, right, reminds them that they also have to grow. So like it's a constant reminder.
I think that's
to
what
them.
it is.
Yeah. So instead of just doing it themselves and going with you, they try to bring you down.
Yeah, I think they.
Because you should never feel bad for like trying to improve yourself.
I think they were. I don't want to say they were jealous, but I was miles ahead of them. You know, I was lapping them like multiple times, and just as far as life and experience and growing, and you know, I have a vision for myself. You know, I have goals. I have things I want to do, and you know, it just never really seemed like they had that. They just kind of want to hang out, to fuck around, and like not really have any real responsibility, you know. And for me, if that's your motive to have a friend, I don't really want you around, you know, because I want people that can come up with me. And they were making it really clear that they're not the ones, and I was like, all right, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's like I feel like it sucks sometimes because, you know, you grow up with people, right, and then as like you have similar things because you're in school together, right, but then as you start getting older, it's like a lot of times you'll start to diverge. And it's like you still enjoy like the memories you have with them and hanging out with them. Mm-hmm. But like as you guys just start doing different things, it gets harder to hang out the same way as usual.
Definitely. You know? When I was the first one to get a car in that friend group, and a job, and money, and really anything. I was the first one to get the ball rolling, you know.
Baller,
just, you know, it's expectations that I had for myself that they didn't. And when I first got a car, and then like 6 months went by and no one else had a car or a job, I was kind of like, okay, what the fuck? Like,
because didn't you say you were like the one driving them around all the time?
I was driving around all the time,
which is like very nice when you first get a car, but you want other people to pick up their weight eventually.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and I was the glue of those guys for so long that eventually I was just kind of like, I'm tired. Y'all figure this shit out on your own.
Interesting.
And yeah, I mean, yeah, right when I got a car is when my mentality started changing. To start growing.
Well, to be more general now, because a lot of this is revolved around you trying to grow and stuff. And we were talking about this a few days ago because you had to sign a waiver because you're 17 for this one place. And like me and Henry, like you just seem like you're not a 17-year-old. You seem a lot more mature for your age. So I wanted to know, how do you define maturity? And then why do you think you might be more mature than other people your age?
Oh, realizing where you are in your life.
Realizing where you are in your life.
And like thinking of ways to make it better.
Thinking of ways to make it better.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. So it's kind of a little future oriented. Like being able to...
A little bit. It's also like realizing where you are. Because when I was 15,
that's true.
I was living like I'm 15. But now that I'm about to turn 18, I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't live like that.
Yeah, because part of what I see in maturity is like being able to see long term in the sense that like it's good to be in the present, but it's also good to know like if I'm purely in the present and I'm not thinking about like things I'm gonna have to do as an adult, then like I might not prepare at all. And I feel like maturity is being able to kind of do both, like being able to live the present in a way that also sets you up for the future.
Yeah, I try and do that. Yeah, because I devote enough time to know where I want to be, you know, but not too much to where I'm stressing about it. And I'm just focused on being myself at all times. For a lot of my middle school career, I kind of felt like I was not being someone I wasn't, but just kind of didn't know who I was yet. Which everyone is like that in middle school, so it makes sense.
Middle school, man.
Middle school's tough, but
middle school is tough.
This last year, I can confidently say, like, I've learned who I am and who I want to be. I'm just taking the steps to get there.
Well, then my next question. Who are you and who do you want to be?
I am Andrew Gyger at all times, and, never fake, never someone I'm not.
That is true. I do respect. I feel like you're always upfront when you're hanging out with us.
I always keep it 100% with people. Because I don't like liars either, It's like if you're lying or saying something you don't believe, why are you even talking?
And it's not only does it like negatively affect the people you're lying to, but it negatively affects yourself because you're just not living the way you would ideally want to be living.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as who Andrew is, I'm still figuring that out. I just super chill, hardworking, like to relax, like to eat.
Eating's great.
I play a little bit of video games, but not an unhealthy amount, And,
can you talk about the Minecraft YouTube channel by any chance?
No, that's not happening.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
One day. But, what was the second part of your question?
I said, who are you? Oh, what is your vision for yourself?
Handsome, successful.
Okay. Well, you're already there, man. You're looking handsome as hell.
Well, I want to keep it going. I want to be cool as hell. I want to just, like, when people think of me, think of Andrew, like, hey, that's a cool guy. When people meet me, I attract people to me, which I already feel like I do because I see it. Like at work, bro, everyone flocks to me.
Oh shit! Okay. Do you ever get worried that, is this based off of what other people think though? Do you know what I mean?
What
is
do you
it
mean?
more like you want to be seen as cool, right? But would you do anything
I think I'm cool.
You think you're cool?
Yeah.
Okay. So then in the future, you want people to perceive you as cool or just see the coolness that you already have?
Yeah. I want people to realize I don't think I'm a great person, I definitely have my flaws. But for the most part, I think I keep it pretty cool with people. And if you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you. And if you're not nice to me, I'll top your disrespect by 1,000.
Okay.
So
That's fair.
just because I'm petty like that,
Hey, you're
I know
honest,
my flaws.
though.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
I can't act like I'm not. But yeah, when I think of my future self, I envision built, tattoos,
Conor
drive
McGregor,
a-
right? That's the type of
Yeah,
look you're trying to get?
I want his build. I imagine myself having a Toyota Tacoma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, very specific.
Yeah.
I like this vision.
Yeah, and probably a ton of investments, probably a ton of money.
Okay, do you have any
Right
idea
now,
what you want to do for your career yet? It's alright if you don't. But.
Yeah, I do. So I want to, just for everyone out there, I'm not the best in school. I can survive school. I'm on the honor roll, but I'd rather not. So I'd rather physically apply myself than mentally. So I want to be a carpenter because they start at $60,000 a year, and then by the time after 4 years of doing it, it's $100, and that's not going to be my main salary though. I'm just
pretty good
because I'm gonna start young and invest young and invest in whatever
Scott.
Yeah, invest in whatever Scott is getting, and
that's a good idea.
I think I'll be a millionaire by the time I'm 30.
That would be badass.
Yeah. And I'll be a multimillionaire by the time I'm 35.
Wow, just in 5 years. I mean, I guess that's true. It's
The first
harder
one's
to
harder.
make the first million, yeah.
Yeah.
You said something about, you're talking about how you weren't the best in school. And I know that we've talked about before how you feel like you didn't get the best education. So I kind of want to get your perspective on that. Maybe just talk about education in general.
So I am not some male versus female guy, but the public school system is literally proven, factually, to not be as suitable for young males.
Really?
Yeah, and
Please go on.
yeah,
I haven't heard this. One.
and I feel like that applies to me 100% because I just never feel like it adapted my way of thinking and doing things. It was just kind of like do.
Wait, real quick, do you know how so they say it's like more female oriented?
My mom explained it all to me. It has to do with attention spans and like energy. You know, kids are energetic and it's just kind of limiting.
Like, is it something like maybe guys have on average lower attention spans than women, and like schools
yeah, I think it's something
for longer
like,
attention spans.
Yeah, it's something like that. But yeah, from the jump, honestly, I don't feel like I had a good education, especially in math. In elementary school, I was good at math, but in in sixth grade, my math teacher was a hard ass, and I could not learn anything from him. And then in seventh grade, my math teacher was this old Indian woman who I feel so bad for her. Everyone made fun of, and like I couldn't understand her all that well, and she didn't explain things well, and the whole class was a joke.
Dude, that's hard because like I feel like middle school math is like if you get like consecutively bad teachers in math in middle school, it's like that's when you either like it or hate it.
Hear this.
Okay.
So that was 6th and 7th. 8th grade, I had the hard ass again. I had him for another time.
Oh, same teacher from 6th grade.
Yeah. Oh, wow. But in like December, he had to leave town. I think his dad was passing away. He had to leave town, and he was gone till the end of the year. And the whole class, Aiden was in that class, a few other people in that class. We just fucked around the whole day. Did absolutely nothing.
Was it just
there was a sub, but she was not teaching. You know, she was just a person in the room. So, you know, we'd cheat everything. We'd fuck around on everything. I got like a 95 on the midterm and the final. And my mom was like, wow. And
do you know what math class this was?
Pre-algebra.
Pre-algebra,
yeah. And, and then I've probably been cheating math tests since like 8th grade. Because I don't need to know it if my phone knows it. I always have my phone on me. You know, if my phone can do it, I can do it.
So they don't catch you?
Well, I don't get caught.
Have you ever got caught?
Nope.
Dead ass?
Not once.
Damn, you went through 3 years of high school. And
I'm impressed.
I mean, I guess a lot of it was online, like COVID, right?
So, here's what I do. So, for the camera.
We're not condoning cheating. We're just teaching how to do it.
I'm not condoning it, but if you have to do it, do it.
I'm not condoning it, but it's okay.
So, my most recent year, my junior year, that was my last year of math. I'm not doing it next year. And my teacher, his desk was behind me and like to the side of me. So from where I am, he'd be like back there.
Gotcha.
You know?
Behind your shoulder.
What I would do is just turn like this in the desk so that my back is to him. And then I have for those who can't see, my legs are crossed. And my phone would just be in my leg. And I would just type.
There's no way. That looks so suspicious.
I did it every test, every year. He looked at me all the time.
Do you think maybe part of him just didn't care?
Yeah, definitely. Part of him didn't care because he knew what was up. You know, he knew he wasn't like a high effort teacher. He knew like kids got to do what kids got to do.
Kids got to.
And then online year, cheated that shit. Everyone did. And then freshman year was probably the last legit year. But I'd still cheat a few of them. And I remember there was one time where I had to go make up a test because I was absent. And it was only me and the teacher in the room. And I still cheated it.
Wow.
I was sitting
the same phone?
Yep. I was sitting right in front of him.
Yeah, they really don't care at that point.
Not at all.
Have you ever heard of the technique with like Scantrons where after you fill it out, you put chapstick all over it? And apparently when you put it through the machine, it's supposed to like malfunction, I guess.
I have not heard of that.
Yeah.
But whenever there was a Scantron test, in any of my classes, kids always had the answers already.
How?
I don't know. But I'd do it and I'd get 100.
Yeah, that's kind of... Okay, so then, do you think...
Putting a lot of trust in those kids.
Do you think there's any part of you that maybe would have liked math if you had a better education? Or do you think also just you don't like math?
Well, that's really just something I don't know, you know?
That's fair. You never got to test it.
Yeah, I never got to try. But I can say confidently I don't like math, but if someone was like really riding me about it growing up, like, yo, you gotta learn this. because I know Scott feels this way too. Like, I'd probably like it more.
Maybe you'll enjoy it because I'm sure there's math in carpentry, right? Like a little bit.
Yeah,
so you'll probably enjoy that because it's like you're doing.
I'm gonna learn what I have to learn, But whatever I don't have to learn, I'm not gonna worry about. Damn. And I'm gonna learn a lot of math when it comes to money as well.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, I want to know everything about money.
So what about, real quick, just on the school thing? So what about your other classes? Do you feel like it was just math you were fucked in, or?
Just math I was fucked in because of those middle school classes. Everything else is pretty like common sense.
No, I mean more like just like education wise. Do you feel like it was just your math education that was bad, or do you think there's something wrong with education in general? Well, and we're not qualified to talk about this. This is our experience.
This is my opinion.
So don't take this as like.
I definitely think there's stuff wrong with the education system, but I knew that, and I knew that everything could kind of be taken with a grain of salt, So I would say I had a good education because I made it that.
I see.
It's like if I knew, or if I didn't know that a lot of this stuff is kind of stupid, I'd probably get frustrated a lot more. But whenever something stupid would pop up in school, I'm like, I mean, what am I supposed to expect, And that's
what do you mean, like, by stupid stuff?
Just learning dumb shit. Like I can't define because I don't remember it.
Do you mean just learning shit that you feel like wouldn't be useful to you later in life?
Yeah, stuff like that, and just the experience as a whole. School system has a lot to work on, and it hasn't been changed. Like it hasn't been completely reorganized in like hundreds of years.
Isn't that wild? Like it's still a lot of it's still from like. When kids were trained to be like factory workers, right?
Exactly.
So you're very trained to be obedient. That's why we have to raise our hands to ask questions. And I'm sure part of it's just to make the classroom not chaotic.
Yeah.
But you have to ask to go to the bathroom and stuff,
Ridiculous.
Especially in high school. And you're a young adult, man. You should just some teachers would be very nice and you just walk to the bathroom as long as you don't abuse it. And I thought that was really
good. I like teachers like that.
But what do you think about how our school district? I don't know if they're still doing this, but ever since COVID, they started changing a lot of things. Like everyone has to get a minimum 50% in a class. There's things like any test you can retake. You can turn all homework in at the end of the semester. So any late homework has to get full credit. What do you think about all these types of? And I think that it's for high school too. So you'll be going to senior year with stuff like this.
Yeah, they were doing it last year. I think it doesn't affect me. It really doesn't. I get all my work done on time. I get an A on everything. It's just what it is. But there are kids who live a lot more chaotic lives than I do and just simply cannot get to that shit right away. And teachers don't really accommodate for that. Some teachers don't really accommodate for the fact that we don't know what these kids are doing at home. These kids, I've known some kids that are raising their whole family when they get home. All their siblings and stuff rely on them. And they work super young, crazy late into the night, and so I think it's good that they're doing that because teachers, as much as teachers want to have deadlines and stuff, not every kid can make it. Kids got lives. Kids got crazy shit going on, depending on how they're growing up.
No, that's a very good point. I actually didn't think of it
because I easily could be like, well, yeah, they should do it when it's on time, but it's not that easy. It's not that simple.
Yeah, because the way I was thinking about it was from the perspective school is to learn the material, right? That's what the main goal. But I feel like a lot of school is also to teach those types of responsibility and time management skills with deadlines and stuff. So getting rid of them completely seems counterintuitive to that goal. But I didn't think of it from that perspective. So
if you're a kid and you are totally just being lazy, piece of shit, playing video games all day, not doing anything, then you are not who I'm talking about, No, yeah. But I'm talking about the maybe 10% of kids that their life is hell,
Interesting. Yeah, I think that's makes sense. I don't know necessarily if you'd have to make it what do you call it? An overall standard that anyone can do that, because I feel like most teachers are understandable where if you talk to them one-on-one and was I'm when I get home, I have a chaotic household, I'm raising part of my family on my own. I feel like most teachers are
accommodating to that stuff. But I think with the new thing, what they can also do to kind of like still help with kids like those, but also encourage, deadlines and like time management skills, maybe just like, I don't know, like extra incentives to turn things in on time. Because now that grades isn't the incentive, you can maybe do stuff in class, extra credit, shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah. There's definitely options, and teachers. I've seen teachers reach out to make the options to kids, but it's not all of them, because some teachers are really not supposed to be teachers at all. Some teachers are very really suck. They are awful, and
I mean, especially because like isn't the public school system, like, it's really hard to get fired as a teacher, like, unless you're do some like really bad misconduct, like you could be pretty bad at teaching. And
I've seen them get away with damn near everything, and it really is bizarre to me sometimes what they let them get away with. And I think if the teachers had someone watching how they teach the whole time, it'd be a lot better.
I see.
But since no one's there to make sure,
I wonder if that's what. I wonder if COVID and like online school had anything to help with that, because not only is the teacher teaching their kids, but now they're teaching the kids, and half the time like parents are around hearing what the teacher is doing.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that, like, I'm sure it had negative effects on teachers too.
Here's what I think about that. I think the online year shouldn't have even happened from the start.
Interesting.
At all. Because I feel like in a lot of ways it just set kids back, because I had my worst year, the online year, because
it's hard.
No one, like, me as a person, I didn't care, and I'm not at school for my teachers to tell me to care. So I just conduct myself. I do, always skipping class, always not doing what I'm supposed to, and it resulted in my worst year yet. And I feel like if that just didn't happen and we held out, it would have been frustrating for kids. But if we just waited a little longer,
do you think like maybe just like a year no school, and then being able to go back in person the next year?
Yeah, I think that, because I know I had my worst year online, and at least 20 other people I know had their worst year online. So I know it's not just a me thing, but now, this shitty ass school year is going to show up on everyone's transcripts, and their GPA is affected.
Yeah, maybe just spitball. Maybe they could have, because I know some kids would have hated the idea of not going back that year, like kids that might be like trying to get into college and shit like that. So maybe if they made it like an option, it could have been interesting.
That would have been interesting.
I'm curious how much kids would actually choose to go though.
Probably the few with parents that care.
That's true.
But
yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, feel free to ask whatever you want.
Okay. So I had a question. I obviously know how I met you and how I evolved with you. From your perspective, how did we meet, and how was growing up together?
Okay. Oh, I like this flip of the script.
Okay, so my first like real memory of like meeting you, and you're probably gonna remember this too, is when I was in 5th grade. I think you were in 3rd grade, and
I was in 1st and you were in 3rd.
Oh, okay. So I was in 3rd grade and you were in 1st. Okay, I thought it was like sooner than that. Okay, so then we were at the park, and I think I hung out with some other kids that knew you, so mutual friends, and then like it was just you and me there at the end, and you were telling me about your life, and you were like saying you got this crazy shit going on, like making up lies about how like you have an Xbox, a PS4, all these consoles. You have like, you get whatever you want. Like you have a great life. And then you'd be like, I don't even go to school. And I was like, what? You're like, yeah, I just kind of like have a life where I don't have to go to school. And I was like stupid. So I just believed everything. I was like flabbergasted. And this was like 2 hour of this going on. And then finally you were like, yeah, I'm fucking with you. You probably didn't say fuck, I don't know. But you were messing with me. And I think we just laughed hella hard, or at least I did, because I was just like, damn, you got me for a long time.
So that's that's like the first real memory.
You got me back for that though.
Did I?
Because before the first time I went to Anderson's house, You were telling me about how cool Anderson's house was.
Oh shit!
And
I
got there and
that.
I was like, "What the fuck? This is lame as hell."
Dude, that is so. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad I got you back. But yeah. So the second question was like, what? How I felt like growing up with you.
Yeah. And like Nick and what those days were like for you.
I think it's really interesting. I think you and Nick were like my first like consistent friends, right? Because
Me too.
We lived in the same neighborhood, obviously, and we hung out so much, like almost every day. I feel, and I think that was really good. Your backyard was like the hub, bro. You had this nice swing set.
It was the swing set, and then it was the trampoline.
And then it was the trampoline.
When it was the trampoline, shit really started popping.
Dude,
out.
yeah. I remember we played Life, like the game of Life, where we literally would just pretend to be 1-year-olds, and like every few minutes we would grow in age.
Yeah.
And like we'd have.
You remember the daddy game?
The daddy.
You will die in hole.
Yeah, you go die in hole. Yeah, that shit. Nick was a really good dad to us. The daddy game, you don't know, was just like one of us would pretend to be.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we'll keep him until he does. It just sounds fucking weird.
And then you got the trampoline.
When I got the trampoline, me and Nick we would go on there for like hours.
Really?
We'd spray each other with the hose.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was summer, and we'd be out there all day, and we'd take Dragonville breaks. And
It's Dragonville.
I actually have some dragons breeding right now. And
Really?
It's 2 days, so it's gonna be.
Oh
good.
shit! That might be a double rainbow, dude. 48 hours.
Well, double rainbow's 60.
Oh, okay.
I still don't have
Rainbow,
a double.
then.
You know they have a triple rainbow dragon?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I have it. You want to see it?
Oh.
I'll show you later.
I'll show you later. I would love to see it.
Yeah, but that's so funny.
I think I feel like growing up with you. I mean, this is hard to tell because like I could have been friends with someone else and maybe they would have got me into different activities. But I feel like hanging out with you, you got me into a lot of activities that I probably wouldn't have gotten into myself. So like trampoline, like gymnastics type stuff. Like I probably wouldn't be able to do a front flip.
Yeah.
I remember like spending weeks. Like you and Nick knew how to do them, and we would get all your pillows out. Then I would try to do it. And like I remember one day I just did it, and I was like, I just did it. And I was like, you guys are really cool with that.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people when they're younger might not get to have like stable friends. Like they might switch around.
I'm so thankful for how everything went.
Like it's crazy. Like
if
what,
we just,
first grade and we're still friends. We're like you're almost out of high school. I'm out of high school. It's crazy.
Man, if my parents chose a house like 2 minutes away from here, not in this neighborhood, we would not be having this conversation.
Isn't that weird to think about? Like earlier you said proximity is good for a friendship, and I don't think people understand just how good proximity is. Like you can be you can share so much in common with one person, but like if you're not close enough to see each other almost every day, like you're not going to have as strong of a friendship as the people you see every day. At least that's my perspective.
Oh, I agree. It growing up in this neighborhood is probably the best childhood I could have asked for because I walk along these streets when I'm walking my dog with my girlfriend, and I'm like, I have memories everywhere, and I've been in most of these houses. You know, even I don't know the kids no more, but
it is weird.
There's a rich history.
It's nice having a constant thing in your life.
Yeah.
Like you just see like kids come and go, but like you know, this is like because a lot of people move around though. My dad, dude, every time I hang out with him, at least one time, he's always like, yeah, so I went to this school, and it's like 8 schools by the time he's in high school, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, I always hear about people that live like that, and I know there's really not much the kids can do about it, but I'm really happy that I was able to stay here my whole life, because let's see, in this neighborhood, I got you, Scott, Caleb, Tristan, Aiden, Brennan, and a few others. Nick, yeah, but I don't really. Nick, like
when he comes back, we hang out with him occasionally.
Yeah, I definitely still consider Nick a friend.
That's what I love about like y'all. Like Nick, I haven't hung out with in a long time, like a year. But if he came back right now, we'd hung out. It
wouldn't be weird.
Natural. It wouldn't be weird.
Exactly.
That shit's nice.
I love that because you never have to worry about it being awkward.
And that's how it kind of was with us. Remember, we always talk about this, but like there were times when not like out of malice or like we hated each other. I mean, we just stopped hanging out as much because like school got in the way and stuff. But we always kept coming back, and that's what I think is really good for.
We really had different circles, like in school and stuff, just because you were always older, going to different school. Mm-hmm. So I feel like we grew up differently, but we had the roots to where we would come back.
Yeah.
And I feel that's how I feel about Scott as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have someone like Caleb, who I was hanging out with last night, and we're gonna hang out tonight. And where I never really stopped hanging out with him, you know. And I wouldn't say I'm closer with him, but as far as like relatability, like I probably relate to him the most.
No, that makes sense. You guys are the same grade, right?
Yeah.
No,
yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, it's
he's
nice.
He's built as hell. Like
It's good you guys are going to the gym together.
Yeah, I saw his shoulders last night, and I was like, wow.
Yeah. You ever get jealous?
No.
Do you think you're a jealous person in general? Like, do you ever get jealous of anyone?
No. I really don't give a shit what anyone has.
Really? So you don't compare yourself to other people?
No, if I did, I'd be sad.
Oh, interesting. That's funny because like I feel like some people they get sad from comparing themselves to people, but it's not like it's hard for them to stop it. And like your reason for not doing it is because it makes you sad. It's interesting.
I don't know.
I mean, there's always going to be someone better than you. So like, if you're comparing yourself, you're never going to get to stop.
I only compare myself to who I was yesterday.
That's smart. That's funny. Henry was on the podcast yesterday, and like the last thing he said was, "I think the goal of human life is to make yourself better than you were yesterday."
Definitely.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't think change can happen overnight, but I think change can definitely happen in a few months. And I think of me like this time last year, just not even comparable. You know.
Interesting. How do you feel like you've improved?
Self-awareness, just being more insightful, being more thoughtful, being more considerate for what others have to say, and just realizing that I don't know it all. Realizing that what people have to say, I might not agree with, but it could. You never know what someone knows. You know?
Dude, yeah, that's one of the biggest things for me. The
and
idea,
what might help you,
like accepting your own ignorance. Like, I feel like I used to be a lot more when talking to people. I'd have an opinion and I just would say my opinion. But now I realized to really back up my opinion, I have to know so much. So I'm a lot more like I just agree with what I agree with in the moment, but I'm very susceptible to like changing if what someone's saying makes more sense.
Anyone can make a good point, and if I agree, I'll be like, okay, yeah,
interesting.
They know what they're talking about. You know, I wouldn't say my opinion is easily changed, but my ears are always open. You know,
very open-minded.
Yeah, and if someone says something that I do really like, my opinion might change.
Gotcha. Well, I think that's nice.
But that doesn't happen very often.
I think this podcast has been pretty good so far.
It's going great.
I do want to go rock climbing soon because we are going to go rock climbing after this. So I have one more question for you.
Okay.
It's a question I'm trying to like ask everyone that comes on.
Okay.
So I can see like people's different perspectives.
Yeah.
So what is something that you've learned in your life that has impacted your life in a significant way?
Don't take things too serious.
Interesting.
Always focus on you. And there's nothing wrong with focusing on you. Some people think it's selfish, and it probably is to an extent, but
yeah, people always assume selfish is always bad.
Yeah, selfish, you have to be selfish to grow. You gotta be, you know? So I would say not taking things too seriously and always focusing on yourself.
Yeah.
If you do those things, you could be really happy.
Well, I think that's a great place to end off.
Okay, that was a good pick.
I really appreciate you coming on, Andrew.
I appreciate you having me.
Of course, man. I think we had some interesting conversations.
I'm down to be a reoccurring guest.
Oh, bro, I will definitely have you on again. I'm excited. I want to get Scott on and then have both of you guys on.
I think we definitely have to do that.
I think that'd be a great conversation.
We could probably do that soon.
Thank you, man.